Hey, 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 welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know in this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading, so I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play as karmic themes. This will allow you to see why your person is acting the way that they are. Because a lot of times when people have spiritual blocks, they wear masks, they create facades. So the energy that they're showing us is not the energy that we feel. The energy isn't lining up. So it's very confusing. It's very triggering. And in order to diffuse the emotional charge from the trigger, we have to see the situation differently. We have to learn how to really integrate the spiritual lesson in order to transmute that negative energy. And integrating the spiritual lesson means that we're aware of why the person is doing what they're doing. We're aware of why we're reacting the way that we're reacting is actually even more important than why they're doing what they're doing. When a person triggers you, they're actually being the catalyst for your healing because it's making you look at things that are wounded. Like no one should be able to trigger you. No one should be able to make you feel not worthy, not good enough, not lovable, defective, and all the lower states of consciousness when we feel like we're not good enough, right? A lot of times we can be around people that make us feel that way. A lot of times we're born into families that make us feel that way. And if you are born into families that make you feel that way, then definitely you would always wind up with a person that makes you feel that way until you learned how to integrate the spiritual lesson because the situations that we're born into, we form behaviorisms and habits that are in alignment with our survival. Our emotional survival is just as important as our physical survival. Our psychological survival is so important because that's the way that we manifest, right? We manifest the thoughts that we think. So when we have a subconscious wound, we're not aware of it anymore because it's suppressed energy. Suppressed energy becomes repressed energy. And then what happens is that someone comes along, we have a connection, could be a girl, it could be a guy, it's just someone within your soul family. They come into your life, they change your life. They also have the power to trigger things that are inside of you. You would never know what they were. So again, people are brought to you by the universe to help you heal. And that's what soulmate and everyone in your soul family is supposed to do. So if you don't know how to deal, though, you wind up being in a relationship that's really like a trauma bond. It could be one of those relationships that are on, off, on, off, on, off. And it's because there is love there, but there's also so many triggers and so much trust issues because of the underlying energy that's creating those triggers that the relationship doesn't last. Only people that are ready to evolve into the highest states of consciousness and their intention, that means their intention, they're ready to do it, have a fighting chance because soul relationships are not easy, especially in today's day and age where a lot of people are wounded and there's no spiritual health. There's no one out there really teaching you how to have spiritual hygiene every day when it comes to shadow work. So this channel is about that, help you to stay clean even after a trauma bond situation, how to clear yourself so that you can attract what and who you want within your life. When I say who in your life, you can't really attract the person. I mean, you can attract a person that's of a high vibration that's going to match your morals and match your character and match all the things that connect you to a partner, to a person, but you can't pick a person if they're really wounded and if they don't want to. So when I say attract who you want, I'm talking about the type of energy you want, and I'm also talking about the type of experiences that you want to experience. All right. Now, if you want to enter into win, Don't forget to write the word of the video in your comment bar. You got to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We always look at the underlining energy again because it tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. And the word of the video is nostalgia. Nostalgia. I feel like someone is definitely living in their past. And they're not happy. They're not happy with where they are. It's not like they're looking back and they're saying, look at the great empire that I've made. No, if anything, they're looking back and saying, I remember when my life was great. I was so happy. I was so happy. Why did I do the things that I did? And they're looking at it from all different directions. They're looking at it within their job. They're not satisfied within the job. They don't know how they began to really hate what they're doing. And I feel like they don't hate what they're doing. They hate the environment that they're doing in it, because the people that are in their environment at one time they got along with, but they don't get along with them anymore. So they don't really understand how that happened, because it wasn't something that like happened overnight. It was a gradual process that this person didn't see, that people really did not like them, that people were starting to think that they were a little too big for their britches, that they were a little too cocky, they were a little too, and the people that they surround them with also are not really that ethical. They didn't tell this person, instead they let them do what they do. And I feel like this person kind of lived a double life. It's like they didn't really, in order to compromise themselves, they had to compromise themselves, meaning they didn't want to live with the people that they live with, but they live with the people that they live with because those people can't afford to live by their own. They didn't want to work at this job as many hours, but no one else would take the hours. They didn't want to, whatever it was, these people manipulated your person. And they did so by guilting them, by making them think like, well, you really should do this. You really should work at this job. You really should stay in that connection. You really should, like, whatever it was, where it was out of alignment with what your person wanted, but they continued to do it. So it was something that happened over time, but they're in a place where they're stuck in nostalgia. And so you may not even really feel them that much. Though, do I feel like you're in there? Yes, I do. I feel that they know that they can't even repair the connection with you. I feel like at one time you were fun and bubbly and open and excited to see them, and now you could care less, like you could take them or leave them. And that's because they didn't feed the connection, and they didn't feed the connection because they allowed other people to manipulate them. They allowed other people, so they're looking back on their life as the entirety and being like, how did I get to where I am? I remember when my life was so good. I remember when people liked me. I remember when I felt good about myself because everybody was happy to see me. And it's like now no one's happy to see this person. And that's what happens when you continually compromise yourself for other people. You don't get what you want, and the people are never satisfied because you can never fix someone, right? You can't continually make up hours and even give a person money where they're going to feel they'll act like they're grateful, but over time they act like you're supposed to do this for me. It becomes like that, where if it's not done, or if it's not done to the most perfect expectation, well, then there's attitude. And this is what your person is living with now. It's like, because they can't seem to take care of themselves and take care of everyone else at the same time. So you're getting neglected. That's what I'm feeling. You're getting neglected because this person has a problem with boundaries. So the underlining energy is nostalgia. We're going to see why I channeled that. We're going to see Sorry, just woke up a little while ago and I am parched. We're gonna see why your person acts the way that they act, or why I channeled what I just channeled. Distracted, yeah, like you feel like even when you were talking to this person, they wouldn't 100% let you get close. They wouldn't let you build that emotional connection. They wouldn't be transparent with you, and you always felt like they were distracted, like they always had to do something. They always had to be somewhere. Someone might always get mad at them. Again, not really present in their body, not allowed to go deep within their own connections because they're so worried. And this made them very inconsistent because, again, they don't have control over their life. And that's the whole ploy. It's like these people allow your person to stay in a low vibration, but they don't let them have their own life. You know, the only life that you can have if someone else is controlling your life is to, you know, live by your addictions, right? I mean, that's really what it's going to be, because you're going to be so miserable all the time because you don't have control over your life. So whatever free time you have, you're going to try to escape from your life. So what winds up happening is the person forms bigger and greater addictions that keep them bound to the life that they don't want to live, pretty much. It makes it, and the people that are surrounding them don't care because they're like, well, you're easier to control then. We know where you are. And so there's a sense that there's a real like attachments, real negative attachments. And that happens again when a person does not have, they're not spiritually evolved. They don't feel good about themselves. They have a very poor self-esteem. They have a poor image of themselves. And that happens from being surrounded by people that are always gaslighting you, always making you feel bad about yourself, always making you feel like what you do is not good enough. And that's really what's happened in this. It didn't happen in the beginning of whatever this was, whether it was a family that had melded together, whether it was a place at work, wherever this person has spent their time. And I feel like one place was definitely work, but I also feel like it bled into their home too. I feel like this person had no time. And it's not that they didn't want to be in your life. They couldn't be in your life. They couldn't give you what you wanted. So, because again, they are in energy that is submissive. So you felt, the ironic part is you felt like they were distracted, possibly talking to other people. And I'm not saying that they weren't. I feel like this person did talk to other people, but nothing was happening with those other people. I feel that they talked to other people because they like their ego fed. They like the attention, but their feelings were really with you. It's just they couldn't really 100% be with you. So you weren't emotionally giving this person what they needed, which made them go out and talk to other people. That, again, an insignificant relationship, just people that kind of, the people that they were talking to felt like there was a chance, thought that it would turn into something. But eventually, after this person kept breadcrumbing and breadcrumbing, they were just words. It didn't mean anything. It was just play after, just a lot of flirtation back and forth. So nevertheless, they still weren't giving you the emotional energy that you needed. They still weren't showing up for you, because here they are still giving to these people that they don't really want to be with, but the loyalty is going to those people. What did I say? I can't make this shit up. Influenced. And that's what I feel. They were distracted. Those people kept them held down. So for you, being in a relationship with this person was technically impossible because they don't have control over their life. And I feel like no one ever wants to say, hey, I don't have any control over my life, because that's embarrassing. No one's ever going to admit that. No one's ever going to admit that their mother is too controlling, very rarely. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say very rarely, but the majority of times you have people that love the people that are overstepping. And overstepping meaning, well, you're not allowed to have boundaries. You're not allowed to have your own thoughts, your own wants, your own needs, your desires. Someone's telling you what to do. You don't have control over your life. And so that means if you're with them, you don't have control over your life either, because this person has to go along with everything. And so you're continuously feeling ignored. No one wants that. No one wants to be in that type of relationship. And the people that surround your person know that. So they're like, so what? You go out and you fuck. So what? Yeah, and they tell them this. That's okay. Go ahead. And again, they tell them to be unethical. They tell them, how to be. And then your person wants to fit in because they're so insecure that, they'll sit there and they'll badmouth you. They'll sit there and they'll say, well, oh, this person can win. This person, oh, they love me so much. Or they have this. When meanwhile, you felt how insecure that they were. And I feel like you tried to tell them, hey, listen, I want to be transparent with you so you don't have to worry with me. And instead, they use that information and they use it against you because they're being bullied, because they're being manipulated, because they feel bad about themselves. Well, it's almost like the bully that goes and bullies. And this person doesn't have a backbone. Yeah, this person has a hard time of letting go of the past and the fears associated with it. So they manifest in chaos in their relationships. And that's why you feel the way that you feel with them. It's like, and I feel like you have trauma from your past, and it plays out in relationships where a person is unavailable for you. They're avoidant. This person's avoidant of their own life. So of course they're going to be avoidant with any problems that they have with you. And you felt ignored. This person actually felt ignored. If you want to know why they talk to other people, they feel ignored again because you're not compensating for their imbalance. And that's what this person needs. They need to be with someone on a lower vibration that's going to accommodate them so that they can accommodate other people, because they don't have a backbone to do what they need to do. And I feel like for some, you feel, sorry about that, cards down. For some of you, you feel as if you always have to compromise. Like, why am I the one that always has to compromise? Like that, and it's only because this person's on a low vibration. And if you always feel that way, then you're attracting people that are not confident. Then you need to look at your confidence and what you know that you're deserving of. A person can have feelings for you, but if they're not capable of treating you right over time, you would grow to resent this person. And that's what I feel like has happened with everybody resents this person. That's how this reading started, that the person was stuck in nostalgia saying, how did we go from you really being bubbly and happy to see me, and what we had good camaraderie and good great chemistry and all these people, they adored me, they like me. Now everybody hates me. Now I'm so lonely. How did this happen? And it's not because they were a bad person. That's the irony. It's they abandoned themselves because they were accommodating everyone else. With you, I think obviously because this person does not have great relationships, they don't know. They're not aware of their behavior. That's the issue. I think with them, with you, it was always, I'm going to get to it. 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 But their situation never changed. And because their situation never changed, they kept giving more almost to accommodate, thinking that eventually they would be finished. But it's an empty well when you're continually doing for other people. Then, like I said, it becomes expected. And then when you don't do it, they get resentful. People, you can't be friends with jealous people. You can't have jealous people in your life because they're going to want you to either help them, do for them, they're going to make you feel bad, they're going to make you feel as if you're non-deserving. And that's what happened to this person. They're holding up everybody, but they're not, those people are never satisfied. And what's really happening is it's like it's disturbing them. Like they have suffered enough, like mental and emotional abuse. That's where they are now. They've gotten to a point where, yes, they're looking at like at their life and from past tense, but they're also realizing that they're starting to get really sick and mentally sick, where their own thoughts are keeping them up at night. They're not sleeping. So in order to control their thoughts, they have to drink too much, smoke too much. They have to continually escape. They're not really manifesting anything with their life. People are actually, it's almost like I feel as if this person has like attachments on them, like spiritual entities, not people. They do have attachments on them, but I almost feel like the people that are surrounding them have this real dark energy, negative energy. And it's almost like spiritual energy, like spiritual entities have attached to these people, and it's those entities that are attached to your person. So it'll almost come across as witchcraft, or it'll come across as demonic energy. And it's because what you feel is no one cares about your person, to the point that it's killing your person spiritually. And we're spiritual beings having human experiences. So that this person is starting to literally get physically sick, and they're getting physically sick because in order to deal with their surroundings, like I said, they have to drink, they have to escape in order to be there, in order to function, in order to stomach what's happening to them. But they really don't need to do that. They can get up and leave at any time. So when you are in a connection with this person, I just feel like they were not able to give you anything. They were just inconsistent, and you didn't really know anything except for you saw that they were flirty with a lot of different people. But I feel like you always knew that there wasn't anything going on. It just would irritate you because you're like, well, why would you rather flirt with people that are so insignificant than build a connection to me? And really what it is that they couldn't, because they're tangled. They're tangled. They're unable to free themselves from the sticky situation that they created. They need to take steps to really help them see clearly. And I think for you, you felt like, well, if I'm going to get involved with you, I would get tangled up because, yeah, we have an emotional and spiritual connection, but you're not giving me anything. And I refuse to be like you would feel like you were in a relationship by the way that this person's in a relationship with all those people. It's that you wouldn't have control over your life. You'd have to be there for this person's beck and call. That's why, like I said, they tend to talk to other people. It's not that anyone's really giving them anything except for attention, but it allows this person to feel like that burst of dopamine, like, ooh, like serotonin, like, ooh, like someone's thinking about me. because this person feels like shit about themselves. And like I said, you're not going to sit there and give this person. Why would you? You're like, I'm not going to get tangled up in whatever your bullshit is, because that's what it is. You're not giving me time. You're talking to other people. You're flirty. So you either have commitment issues, you're attached to somebody else. I don't really know what's going on. You're not being transparent with me. I'm not getting tangled up in that. I'm not. I feel like it's just games. That's what you felt like. You felt like you play a lot of games. No, this person would uh, leave information out of their conversations with you because they didn't want you to know certain things about themselves. They continually thought, I'm going to fix this situation. I'm going to get out of this situation. But I think they're also used to people that are very codependent and attachment-like. So their thought was that I would get together with you and you would help me. Because obviously this person never learned how to like get out of their own situation. They don't know how to fix their own situation. So people have continually come into this person's life and said, oh, I'll help you with that. And then what happens is they take advantage. It's like they take advantage, and it's because your person is not really present, doesn't set boundaries, doesn't have really enough of a life of their own. Right? When we have a life of our own and we're passionate about our life and our own, we only have so much time. And we create boundaries, and we don't feel bad about those boundaries, because where we're putting our time, it's actually filling us emotionally. So we're not afraid to let go of certain people. We're not afraid to set a boundary and have someone get mad. It's like that you get mad, that's your problem. This is my life. And you love yourself when you are surrounded by people that love you. You love you. You wind up loving you. You wind up treating people the way that they treat you. You wind up treating people the way that you see them treat themselves. So you always want to surround yourself with people that treat themselves really well. And not, that doesn't mean where they are so greedy and they buy themselves everything. That's what this person did. I feel like, because they certainly aren't getting their emotional fulfillment from anywhere else except for outside things. And that's the problem. It's like this person doesn't have enough of themselves, isn't strong within themselves. So they play a lot of games, immature. And you feel like, oh, you talk to a lot of people, and that became like the biggest argument, because that was the only thing that you saw. That was the only thing that this person kind of like presented to you, meaning like they're not giving you time, but you see them talking to other people, like on Instagram, or other people at their job, or other people just making others seeming like they're making other people a priority where they're not. Like you said, it's very surface. Is enough to make this person feel good about themselves, where both parties know nobody's gonna get anything. In the beginning, those women might, or those men might have, like whoever, might have, but after, what, 2 months, like a month, if someone's checking in with you every single day, and it's only flirty and it's only surface deep, people intuitively know. So it's in the beginning phase, and then you're like, nevertheless, they're still giving other people time. And you're seeing it, they're giving other people time and not you time. But the truth of the matter is, they're thinking about you all the time, and they're not doing it for themselves. And that is why to be with somebody on a lower vibration is really difficult, because you're always going to be triggered. You're always going to be triggered by their insecurities. And that's what we see here. A person that has a lot of like low self-esteem, and in order to stay bound to the people, it's like they have to, kind of abandon themselves, and that's what you do when drink too much, smoke too much, fuck too much, when you're filling yourself, you're distracting yourself. from the bigger problem. And that just keeps you stuck, but that's what makes you sick over time. Because you can't just drink yourself away or smoke yourself away. You just can't, you can't do that. You can't stay, you're still gonna have resentment inside of you from being in that environment. You may be numb to it, but let me tell you something, there's still pain. It's like going to the dentist and having them work on your tooth. They're going to give you a shitload of Novocaine, but the work is still being done. You know, the pain is still there, the infection is still there, the whatever it is that you're dealing with is still there. It's just you've numbed it. It's like otherwise it would hurt. And that's like what this person is like, it hurts too much. So I numb myself, I escape. Because on the hand with you, like I said, they've never felt love like this before. You say, how is that possible? They're not strong enough for themselves, but they've never felt love like this before. But it's overwhelming for them too, because it makes them think. It makes them realize that I can never really have that unless I break away from this life that I have. These people that I have are surrounded by me. Don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is the love and healing we require for reunion. So there's a part of this person that, you know, it says source is God, right? And God is the universe. God is love, unconditional love. And what this person is kind of trying to do is they're trying, for a long time, they tried to disconnect from the love that they have from you, again, by drinking too much, by, again, escaping, like I said. So what Spirit is saying is like, if that happens to like you would eventually walk away. And that's actually what's happening. Like this person has suppressed themselves for so long. They're not giving you anything, so they're disconnecting themselves. And so obviously what would happen is you wouldn't be back together. And if this person stays like that, well, you're going to move on, obviously. And this person eventually is going to get more and more and more sick. They're not going to get better. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. And I feel like you're saying to yourself, you're running out of time, or you ran out of time already because you sat there for so long. It's not that this person sat there, it's that they checked out. So they have no sense of time. It's like days turn into weeks, turn into every day's Groundhog's Day. Every day is the same thing. It's boring. They hate their life. So they check out. I don't care what they're showing you. They may be showing you something completely different up on social media, but how they feel is, again, their life is a sham. Their life, they're not happy. They're not happy, and it's time to change. And we've gotten similar readings like this before, where someone is really, it's time for them to, you know, to choose themselves. There are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Listen carefully and trust what you hear. So this person, even if they tried not to think about you, everything, Spirit is always talking to them. They cut themselves off from their intuition because they can't. They know what they have to do. They don't do it. They're afraid to do it. So, like I said, it's coming. This person doesn't want you to give up on them, but we don't see anything. And what we see is that they see that you're not coming back. And I feel like every little thing is a reminder. Every little thing is a reminder. Because the brain will do that. The brain will find ways to escape. When we are so miserable and so unhappy with what's going on within our life, well, what happens is we then detach and we disassociate. We are in daydream land and we look for ways to escape. And I feel like that's what's going on with this person. So even though they're trying to escape this, they're still seeing the signs and symbols. So it's like spirit is still talking to them. It's like, you may try and ignore me, but I'm still going to tell you. And this person knows. I know the universe works in mysterious ways. That's what I was saying. I said, it's like this person knows. It's like, because their intuition is screaming at them. The universe is screaming at them, bringing them signs and synchronicities of telling them, this is what you need to do. And they're like, but they judge the situation instead of surrender to it because they're so afraid. They're so afraid, but the universe is trying to get involved. Like, hey, listen, you're going to lose this person. You know, your time's running out. You have to leave your situation. Your situation isn't going to get better. So it's so funny because you're not there. This person's like isolated, and the universe is stepping in. I'm struggling with codependency. I'm afraid to let go of my old coping mechanisms. And that's what I told you. They drink, they drug, they do things to escape. They don't know, even if they got out of this connection, would they know how to like really function? Because they functioned for so long this way. So they don't even know who they are. They don't even know how things would be. To imagine the connection. Of course, they imagine it. It's all passion, but is that real? No. Life is real. And when they look at their life, they're like, I don't know. And they don't know. Codependency is also the people that they're surrounded by that are controlling them because they still have the appearance of their life. They still have that appearance of being needed, wanted, because they're doing everything. So, you know, this person, like, it's a coping mechanism for how they feel about themselves, really. Please send me energetic support. Use a frequency of love to uplift me because I need your help. And this person, like, again, expects like people to be there and like come in and fix it. And that's what I said earlier, like almost like you were going to help them. And it's like, it's extremely codependent. And I say that this person isn't saying that here, but you see, I need your help. If I just knew that you cared about me and that you had feelings for me, then I would come to you. But I feel like, yeah, but then this person would come to you and come on really strong, like emotionally, but still have all their problems and expect you to help them with their problems. I mean, they're surrounded by people that do not like them, that have control over them, that obviously have control over them for a reason. It's like you take away their reason, well, then you're then become the problem. You then help inherit this person's karma. And I feel like this person just goes from relationship to relationship to relationship. And again, whatever attachments they have, they bring them along with them, and it's just not healthy at this point. So that's why I'm saying this person like isn't doing anything because they don't really know how you feel. They want you to like contact them. They want you to put their mind at ease because they can't even think for themselves right now. And the truth of the matter is, it's like, I'm gonna pull one more. The universe brought us together for a reason. I'm discovering what these reasons are. And I think that you need to leave it alone. And I'm going to leave it with this card because it's, again, this person knows you're in my life energetically, even if you're not in my life. We have a spiritual connection. Why are you here? Like, what's the point? And understand their brain is going to do that because their brain is going to look for ways to escape their situation. And that's, again, part of it is you need to help me escape from my situation. Well, the other part, when they see that you don't do it, then they're like, well, why are you in my life? And Spirit's like, that's the question. Remember, the universe has a hand in helping this person get out of their situation, regardless of whether you're going to be with them or not. It's that this person can't stay where they are. They're actually being spiritually like suffocated. And over time, they're actually already physically getting sick. But that's what's happening. They're sorting things out. It's just a very slow process because this person is extremely fearful. So there's a connection, and I feel like this person thinks about getting out, but they're not even close to getting out. They need to do the healing work. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because I'm not going to pull any more right now, because what we see right now is that they are trying to figure out their life, and the universe has its hand in it. So it's a slow process, but I think this person will eventually get out of their situation. I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Loner is your first card out. These are your inner child wound cards. Discipline, second card out. We pull 6. Third card out is confusion. Sing, innocence, rebellion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, the irony is I don't feel like these are horrible cards. Like a lot of times we don't just draw people to us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. That we don't draw people to us that just draw out our wounds. We attract people that also help us uncover our gifts. And I feel like this person, believe it or not, helped you bring out your gifts, because I think that they viewed you to be someone that's like an empath, someone that's very like a giver, someone that is a helper, someone that's a nurturer, someone that would help them. And I think you are someone that's like that, but not codependent. And there's a difference. This person never met anyone like you before, that you're actually a loner, and you've always been a loner. You like to do things on your own. You're someone that is very disciplined, has always been very disciplined. And yes, you are an empath, but I feel like in your younger years, you know, your sensitivity confused you a lot. So you learned how to master that. You learned that a lot of times your emotions are not, you know, accurate, that you're not going to like react from that space all the time, that you do take into consideration logically what is happening, and you have your own voice to sing in the world. I just feel like that's your voice. God made the world with its voice. You too can create the world with your voice. It's like, and when sing, everybody has their own style. You being a lone wolf, you have your own unique style, which again, you stand out from other people. And it's again because you, as a child, in your innocence, it was the trauma for you of growing up around people that I feel like were overly emotional, did try to emotionally manipulate you sometimes to get you to do what they wanted you to do. That, you know, the innocence of you was affected, but being an empath, you tend to always have this playful side, this curiosity side, and all the elements of kind of being like a child, where children are, they do go out into the world and they discover, kind of like lone wolves, right? Like when they don't have any friends around, what do? They go out on an adventure. They don't have expectations. They don't have anything. They just go out and see what's going to happen. And they always make something out of their day, children, always. Even if they're by themselves, they'll play in the back. They'll dig up worms, they'll play with ants, they'll play with the birds, they have imaginary friends, right? They're innocent. They're able to see what's not there, kind of, right? Through their imagination. And I feel like you have that. You have that. And you're not afraid to be alone. This person is used to codependent relationships where you refuse. You're seen as rebellious to this person, and you've always seen as been rebellious. But I have to say, loners always do, because they don't march to the same drum. They march to their own drum beat, and so they're seen as a little odd. They're seen as different, and I think that inspires this person. I think that this person says, well, you're so opposite of me. I don't even have control over my life. And it's like you have your own life. You're unapologetic about it. And people still love you, and people like you. They like you more than me. And I'm doing everything for everyone, and no one likes me. It's like I don't have control over my life. It's like, and you have full control over your life. So they're actually even a little envious, I feel, but you're seen as rebellious because, again, unapologetic for the life that you live. And if that means that you have to be a loner, that's what you're going to do. Where this person was so codependent that they're surrounded by people that don't like them. So I feel like this person brought out your gifts because obviously you wanted to be with this person. You know, there's a connection. You didn't understand what they were doing. They just seemed like they were playing a lot of games. No, they weren't playing games. It's that they have feelings for you. However, can't break away. So you broke away. You were like, no, I'm not going to do this. It's like seen as rebellious, though it's not rebellious. It's like you're just unapologetic for wanting to live your life, for wanting to, you're not going to allow someone to put you in that space. And I feel like you needed to go through this experience to actually transmute the negative energy, where at one time you might have been like your person. I'm going to call him your person, but it's like you were codependent. You were a people pleaser. You did overdo, maybe not to this extent. This is a horrible extent. Like I said, this is really a horrible extent. I feel like you might have had an overbearing mother, a father, again, siblings, friends, where you had to, again, be like, no, and draw the line, and you passed that test. But I'm feeling like, the way that it happened was very turbulent and it was traumatic. Like you had to create a big ruckus in order to like leave, where that's not, you don't have to do that. A lot of times when we are coming from a place of fear because we feel that people are overstepping their boundaries and trying to control us, we run from it. We run away from it. Some of you guys had an overbearing parent that you ran away, where you would run, avoid, because you were terrified of them. And Spirit says, oh, you didn't learn that lesson. Just, yeah, you got away. You did get away. You were seen as rebellious. However, you did it from a place of fear. And that is not what I want you to do. So you did not pass that test fully. You have to go through that experience again, because the energetic residue is still going to be there of, what if someone comes into my life and they try and control my life? Am I secure with myself? Really, that's what it's about. Having boundaries and being unapologetic for the life that you live means that you're strong within yourself, and that's really where you are today. You're strong within yourself. So this person's seeing a different version of you that you have cultivated, but you have struggled with the same energy that they did. Being an empath, you just learned how to master it, and you learned how to master it through how you dealt with this person. you did have to go through this experience before. You have had to deal with, again, overbearing people, people that wanted to use your time, your energy, your focus, your money for what they could utilize. You have lost friends over it. You've had issues with your family over it. So it's a reoccurring karmic theme within your life that will play out throughout your life. The only difference is that you'll go through it, not even, it won't affect you anymore, because you'll be like, yeah, I know what that is, but it doesn't affect me anymore. Where it used to really trigger you. In the beginning, you used to cower and give in like this person, avoid and just accommodate until you were seen as rebellious of, I'm not doing shit. Yeah, that's right. I'll be the loner. Because you ain't gonna confuse me about what I want. It's like, I'm gonna be like my childlike and be in my imagination and pour into myself. And I'm gonna be really disciplined about it. And I'll have my voice in the world, but it'll be my voice in the world. And I feel like your person is inspired by the fact that you just disconnected from them. They didn't see, like, they can't get away from these people, and how you got away from them, and there was a deep connection. So you've taught them through your life. But this was a situation that you also had to go through, again, because eventually you will have no fear towards it. And then, like I said, you'll be able to attract people that are strong within themselves. We tend to be an energetic vibrational match when we have, even when we've gone through things and have gotten away from them. Spirit will say, I don't really like the way that you dealt with that situation. You ran from it. You avoided it. You were too emotional about it. You have to do it from a place of love. And that's hard. And that's by trusting yourself, and that happens from being connected to your intuition. Again, you have to listen to your intuition when somebody is, not coming from the right space, when they are overstepping, to feel that intuition, that gut, and then to say what you have to say to create the boundary. This is, I trust life and my strength. Each moment guides me to the light. Everything on my path is placed there for my growth. So again, this person and you were supposed to be in each other's life, but I feel not to be together, because I don't feel like this person's gonna be ready. Like, you're ready to be in a different life. You need to, again, just embody more of the things that you love and invest more with inside of you, to invest more of your life to what's going to create your life, is what I'm trying to say. And that happens through, connecting to different people that we're invested in our life, and hobbies, interests, to grow your life, so that when someone does come into your life and they have this wonky energy right from the get-go, that you don't entertain it. Because those people are going to go to everybody. It's not that they just go to you. This person thought that you were, oh, look, they're so nice. They're going to be my savior. They're going to be my fixer. They're going to help me, because you gave this person a lot of time, which meant Spirit says, well, where should that time have gone? It should have really been going into you, because you weren't getting anything back from this person. And the law of equal reciprocity is that you kept waiting for this person, and then was like, wait a minute, you're playing games, and it was none of that. It was a lot worse in actuality. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonate with this one. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.